next, what's up, guys? This is Noble Nick. We got another bio for you.
And I'm filming.
So up next, we got the big queen of the bugs, Queen Maladrix, the Conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna read her bio and then her card. So that Queen Maladrix lives at all is a wonder. The Squirter Society, young queens that set out to establish their own hive rarely survive the perilous journey. Fewer than 1 in 10 live long enough to hatch their first brood. Hatched prematurely and smaller than most queens, no one expected Maladrix to survive one night, let alone long enough to establish a fresh colony. So she's smaller than the normal ones.
This makes you wonder how big the normal ones are.
Yeah,
because she's pretty big.
She's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Like Mimring big, maybe even taller.
Oh yeah, she's a big queen, big bug.
Maladrix proved them all wrong. She snuck, fought, and bartered her way through the manifold dangers of Arboretus. But it was not enough. The clutch of eggs she carried was destroyed. All seemed lost. Desperate, she stalked another juvenile queen to her fledgling lair. The ensuing battle was brutal and desperate, but in the end, Maladrix prevailed. And the defeated queen's eggs were hers. Slowly, Maladrix began to wrap her dying rival in a fresh cocoon. Eventually, she would need to consume the conquered queen in order to synthesize her pheromones. But for now, she needed to rest. And she needed those pheromones for the eggs to be hers, pretty much.
Yep. I think there are some bugs that do something like that in real life, actually, but
Probably.
I could be completely wrong. I feel like I remember reading that somewhere.
Within a year, Maladrix had established a successful hive. Within a decade, her hive was the envy of the region, a thriving squirter bastion in a perilous world. With the core of her colony secure, Maladrix began the grueling process of laying and fertilizing more than 1 million eggs. Finally, her labors complete, she settled into 1,000-year slumber, awaiting the second spawning of her young and the birth of a true hive. So another figure that's 1,000 years old.
But in her case, she was sleeping the whole time.
Well, she wasn't asleep the whole 1,000 years.
Oh yeah, for a good chunk of it, sounds like.
It was not to be. After centuries of peace, a colossal convulsion shook the hive, collapsing the tunnels under millions of tons of rock and ruin. Pinned by the rubble as her dream died around her, Maladrix resigned herself to death. But before she succumbed, the soft, rasping voice of Revna called the squirted queen to a different fate. Summoned to Valhalla alongside the remnants of her murdered hive, Maladrix's mission remains unchanged. Battered but unbowed, Queen Maladrix the Conqueror will stop at nothing to restore the glory of her hive. So while Cyprin's trying to restore his kingdom, she's restoring hers.
Yeah, she's like growing it bit by bit.
Here's the figure. You can see how big she is because of the front view of the peanut. So it's like a larger single hex that you can kind of see compared to how tall and wide and all that she is.
She's tall.
Real big, really wide with the legs sticking out.
Mm.
And massive. So, here we go. Stats. She's a squirter, unique hero. She's a queen. And that's pretty cool. Wink. Terrifying. Huge 12.
Wink.
She has 5 defense with 6 life, so she likes to live a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot like Torkolna.
Yeah.
But she moves fast with 6, attack of 4. So she's basically Torkolna with a lower attack and a lot lower points, though. She's only 160. So I think he's like 220 or something. So she has some abilities here. She has a double attack. She can attack 2 times with an attack of 4, which is nice because Infestation 9, if you're taking a turn with her, you may choose a unique hero next to her that does not have a Festering Honor Guard on the card already. If you let's see. After taking a turn,
That was really
if you
rude.
roll a 9 or higher, you may place one of your destroyed festering honor guard on it. I thought you had to wound them, but maybe not. After taking a turn with her, you may.
Well, they might change this from that one playtest video they do
Yeah.
from Avalon Hill.
So she can't do 2 at a time, but any hero she can immediately place one of them on, and then once that figure is destroyed, the honor guard is reborn like a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has Festering Honor Guard bonding. After revealing an order marker on her, the Conqueror, Maladrix the Conqueror, and before taking a turn with her, you may first take a turn with them. So them, then her. And then she attacks twice, which the Honor Guard have 5 guys, so that's 7 attacks in a turn, potentially, if they're all alive. And then they can come back once in a while. Yeah, so, yeah.
I just want to point out that he said zombie. For me, when I first looked at it, I kept thinking xenomorph because like she's like infecting them, and if it does work, they kind of can. If they die, they come out. Because when we read the Oathborn, they had to have some ability they can kind of burst out.
Well, if you are only familiar with this game, it'd be like the zombies.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, xenomorphs have been around for what, since the 80s? So
I don't
pop
know
culture.
About it, so.
Well, this game is very big in pop culture. So
now we're just gonna read the next one in the same video. Might as well.
Might as well, yeah. I agree.
So I'll
We're talking about the
find
Oathborn.
That. Yep, Festering Honor Guard.
Honor Guard. Sorry. I don't know why I said Oathborn.
Because they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
So here's the picture for the Festering Honor Guard. Squad of 5, the first squad of 5.
Yeah.
There they are.
Oh, they made me think of crab and shrimp kind of combined in one.
And bug.
Yeah, that too.
When a juvenile squatter queen leaves her home to found a fresh colony, she bears a clutch of eggs on her abdomen, shedding her wings and burrowing deep within the earth of Arboreus. She broods these precious eggs for months, ranging far and wide to amass a stockpile of cocooned nutrients for her gestating young. Imagine if later they come out with another queen of the bugs who's too young to have had the babies yet that can fly.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, oh gosh.
That'd be crazy.
Just giant wings added on to, and you're like, what is this, Mothra now?
Alright, so when they finally emerge egg slick and ravenous, they form the heart of the queen's nascent hive. They are the first of her many children and her finest warriors. Subsequent spawnings provide many other workers and warriors, but the first hatched honor guard are prized above all. The remnants of Maladrix's murdered hive arrived on Valhalla, scattered and broken, weakened, disoriented, and
Bereaved, I think.
The honor guard followed their queen's pheromone trail for 30 days and 30 nights until they were reunited. Were they still on Arboreus, it would be a simple matter to rebuild, but something is amiss. The soil of Valhalla is all wrong. The nutrients she has cocooned are peculiar and unpalatable, and her eggs refuse to hatch. Yet all is not lost. In her desperation, Maladrix discovered a twisted solution. By injecting zygotes into living hosts, she has found a horrific new way to replace her losses. Only the strongest hosts produce offspring, and the broodlings that emerge are strange and sinister. Still, for now, she has kept her dream alive. So, she can't create a hive out of nothing like usual, but that's why she's injecting them with her ability that we just read about into the heroes. These gruesome implantations are merely a stopgap, a far cry from the vast fecund brood pits of her murdered hive. But Maladrix knows it is crucial to preserve her honor guard at all costs. In turn, her festering honor guard fight with everything they have, their unbreakable loyalty forged from bonds both spiritual and chemical. Even mortal wounds can fail to stop them. Often, total dismemberment is the only resource. Should their queen fall, they become even more dangerous in their grief and will lash out at anything within reach in a berserker frenzy. So here's some figures. Here's the 5 squad. And so the queen's dangerous. Obviously, you want to take her out because she keeps implanting in heroes at least, and she can bond and do everything she does. But if you kill her first, these guys have an ability we're going to get to that make them more dangerous too. So yeah, so let's get to this. They're Scordier, unique squad. They're guards. They're relentless, and they're small 3. They move 6. They can climb ×2, so they're a little bit quick. They have 2 attack, which is weak. 3 defense, which is nice. But they're 60 points for 5 guys running around with 2 attack. So actually, 2 attack isn't too bad because of that.
And if you get height, that's 3, but...
Then Parasite. For the entire game, if one of your Festering Honor Guard is on a unique Hero's Army card, by Queen Maladrix doing so, at the end of the round, you roll a 20-sided die for every hero that they're on. If you roll a 17 or higher, destroy that hero.
Yep, they burst out.
I forgot.
They're fully grown.
That's even more dangerous. So,
yep, that's what I remember.
So she attacks twice. They're attacking. That's like 7 attacks, potentially. Yep. And then she can inject one of them, which it wouldn't be 7 if one was dead.
Yeah.
But then she injects one of them. And then for the rest of the game, if you get a 17 or higher, which is not that bad, like 20% chance every end of round, you can kill that hero. So you can kind of ignore them if they're not that amazing. And just try to get that while you're killing everything else. Like Sir Gilbert comes up. He's not that dangerous alone. You inject him, and then you just start killing all the knights so they can't attack you, and then one of these guys bursts out of him and he's dead.
If you keep reading on, it's even worse.
Yeah, so if a Festering Honor Guard is on a unique Hero's Army card when that hero is destroyed by the special attack or by a normal attack, special attack, or leaving engagement attack, place that Festering Honor Guard on a space that hero occupied if possible. So
they just die, they just come out.
Yeah, whether you kill them or they die from that, they're still going to be reborn. So.
Yep. So it's like once, if you don't want any more of them coming out, it's like, I can't let this guy die, almost. Yeah. So it's kind of intriguing. So you can't, don't want to do suicide runs, almost, because then they kind of come back a little bit. I mean, kind of, but, the hero does a lot, then,
Motherless Rage. That's the last power. So if Queen Maladrix Conqueror is in your army, when she is destroyed, you may move any unrevealed order markers from her army card to this army card. Festering Honor Guards add 1 to their attack value if Queen Maladrix is in your army and is destroyed. So once they come back, and the ones that are alive when she dies, when she's die forever, they get extra attack. So 3 attack then. And then even when they're bursting out, if you get to take a turn with them later, they get 3 attack because she's dead.
And they're like, my queen, no!
Yep. So
okay.
5 guys for 60 points, and they can keep coming back. So it's like having more than 5 guys, and they get 3 attack, probably half the battle or so. 60 points isn't very much.
Yeah.
So, and Queen Maladrix really wasn't that bad either, so, yeah.
I think we'll have a lot of fun playing with these when they come out.
Point she how many points was she?
Shoot.
60 plus.
It's like 150 something, or am I thinking of the Phalanx?
She was 160, so it'll be 220 for her and them, which might be close to half your army, but that's pretty good still, especially in a uniques only setting.
And that's the thing, if those Oathbound die, you affect somebody, they die, or you roll the dice, they just keep coming back.
Basically what's happening is the bears were kind of the top tier in the uniques only now, but with all the new bonding, you got her, you got another figure coming up that we're going to talk about here.
Yep.
You got the rolling ball dudes with the Iron Lich.
Yeah.
The pirates, you're getting more pirates.
Pirates!
So all of that unique stuff, how everybody just had the bears, might change. So anyway, with that, we're going to move on to the next one. But we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye bye.